Welcome to the feast, I unleash, I'm a motherfucking beast.
Hello YouTube, I have Christi Lynn Fit on Instagram with me, and we're doing glutes because Bikini Girls train glutes, and yeah, I'm not good at vlogging, but this is her.
Yeah, we're gonna workout today.
We're gonna kill it. Alright guys, so I'm going to do a form commentary for the workout that I did on Friday with Christi. It's a really great workout. We were both sweating our butts off. And so here we go. First movement, as you can see here, we're doing sumo squats. And so the difference between a sumo squat and a normal squat is that your stance is a lot wider than a normal squat, as well as your toes are pointed slightly outwards, just to engage your abductors and your glutes more. And when you sit down into the hole, you want to make sure you're sitting straight down and not back like a normal squat. And so you feel your glutes basically spread apart and then squeeze together to come up out of the movement instead of relying on your hamstrings and your quads. 2 burnout sets of 15 to 20 reps here. So burnout means go a little bit lighter, but you should still be at a weight where 15 to 20 is really difficult. You want to burn the muscle out and get very close to failure. Don't forget to squeeze your glutes at the top of the squat every single time. This is going to help to activate and engage your glutes in every squat that you do. Be careful not to bring your glutes forward when you do this by bringing your hips under your lower back. That can contribute to an anterior pelvic tilt, which I'm going to go into in more detail in another video. But squeezing your glutes together at the top of the squat is a very good tool to engage that booty. Alright, so we are doing a giant set here. So after our compound and our burnout sets, we do a giant set, which just means 3 exercises in a round. So the first exercise is the hack squat, narrow stance, just pushing up with the machine.
I got that on film.
Alright, so we moved on to Bulgarian split squats after that. So you put your foot up on a bench, and this move requires a lot of stability and balance, so it's really great for training your stabilizers. Even if it's hard at first, the more you practice it, the better it is for you. Sit straight down into the heel of your foot so that you're engaging your glute, pushing up and squeezing your glute at the top. Next, we moved on to good mornings. So this is essentially like a Romanian deadlift, but with the weight on your back. So good mornings, put the weight on like you're going to do a squat, and then you're pushing your hips back and leaning forward at the same time while keeping your back as straight as possible and feeling the stretch in your glutes and your hamstrings. And instead of standing up with the strength of your back, you're squeezing your glutes and tightening your hamstrings in order to stand up. And I think you can see a little bit of glute ham tie-in right there and lots of butt sweat. And then our next giant set was Romanian deadlifts was the first move. So we did 4 rounds of the first giant set and 3 rounds of this one. Romanian deadlift, same thing as the good morning, stretching your glutes out and your hamstrings and tightening them to stand up instead of using your lower back to help you. And then we did walking lunges. So this is one of my favorite exercises for really shaping and building legs. I have a love-hate relationship with them. They absolutely suck, and when you're doing 20 reps on each leg, so 40 steps total, you're basically doing cardio. And so it's really, really tough, but key tips here: reach out with your foot when you're taking that step. Sink into the front heel. All your weight should be in that front foot. Push up out of that heel to come up to the top to your next step. Then we did cable kickbacks as the third movement of this giant set. So here Christina is kicking back, but her torso is upwards because your leg can only go so far back to be in line with your torso. And here I'm bending forward so that I can get my foot all the way up towards the ceiling. Both ways are correct. It's just whatever feels the best for you. So if you're getting more glute engagement by leaning forward, do that. If you get more glute engagement by standing up straight, then do that. Whatever makes you squeeze your butt together the best. Then we moved on to reverse hack squats. So with this, you just take a normal squat stance. It helps you get a little bit farther down into that squat than with a barbell, in my opinion. And you're just squeezing your glutes together at the top and pushing up through the heel of your foot. I like to have my feet right on the edge. That's where I'm the most comfortable with the reverse hack squat. One more thing I wanted to address about butt sweat, actually. So as you can see, I'm wearing gray pants. My butt has huge sweat stains, and I know that it's not the cutest thing in the world, but I sweat a lot. It's my genetics. It's how I am. Some people don't sweat at all. I sweat a lot in really unflattering places. And I used to be really self-conscious about it, and I would only wear certain colors so that it wouldn't show up. But honestly, you shouldn't care about that kind of stuff. And honestly, it shows that you're working really, really, really hard. So just be confident in whatever you're doing. Just own it. I've learned to just not really care about butt sweat, but I just wanted to touch on that. Be confident, guys, because it really helps with letting you focus on your workout. Alright, our next movement was a pull-up machine push down for our glutes. And so we did this as a superset, our last superset here. Squeeze the weight down with the heel of your foot. That's how you're going to engage the glute, engage the hamstring, and let the weight come up as far as you can let it, because that's how you're going to stretch it out and get that full extension, that hip extension. And here she's doing the same thing, pushing the weight through her heel, getting all the way down, and letting the weight push all the way up. Then lastly, we did hip abductors. With hip abductors, you want to push the weight apart and focus on your side of your glute. And so sometimes I like to touch the side of my glute in order to feel the activation more. Here I'm just holding my hands over my knees, not pushing out, but just giving myself some stability.